the main thing from a consumer perspective is to not be worried. We will always ensure, I will personally guarantee that you do not lose access to the best NAD boosting supplements, whatever happens.
Let's talk about some of the products right now. What products did you roll out first, and why did you choose those products?
So back in 2019, it was NMN and resveratrol. The actual first ever iteration was all in one capsule, which obviously we now know is not. You shouldn't do that. But yeah, that was the very, very first iteration. It was called the morning supplement, and NMN and resveratrol. It was 500 grams of each. It was a huge capsule as well, which was an error. And then eventually we added berberine, and then it just kind of went from there, really. There was a sublingual as well. That was a big thing for a while, and then people realized that doesn't work. Again, these things all get tested, and this is another reason why you use a health research organization and not
Right.
just a supplement company that wants to spin up these buzzwords.
NMN gummies.
The problem with gummies is, well, first of all, they're usually full of sugar. They're not great for you. The ingredient in them tends to go off a lot faster. And so a gummy will have a best before date of 3 years from when it was made. But in reality, if you want the active ingredient, which is a very, very small amount of the gummy, the rest of it's sugar and gelatin, then you need to eat it within about a month. So gummies in general are a bad idea.
Okay, well then we'll just forget that idea.
No
I'll just say, all right, let me hold on. Okay, gummies are off the list. So, okay, you guys introduced, God, this year, let me see if I can name them all off the top of my head. Glynac, omega-3, a new NAD test.
Correct.
And creatine.
Yeah, there you go. I was trying to give you a clue. Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
You introduced three products this year. How do you decide what's coming next? Or, do you have a pipeline right now with potential products or products? I know you can't say what they are, but is there stuff coming up?
We use a combination of things, but there's always a pipeline of several dozen things being tested in various different forms. And obviously most of them never see the light of day because they don't have positive enough results. And so therefore don't become a do not age style product. But that's why we have the website, really, because then you can see the fruits of our research, the things that have passed muster. So the most recent of which is the new NAD test kit. So the previous one, we were partnering with somebody else's laboratory. And without getting into it, some of our members weren't happy, and that's difficult because if somebody's buying something through our website and then our partner doesn't deliver on what they should, it's not good for us. And so we brought it all in house, and we do the new NAD test is a better price. It is includes more markers. So you've got magnesium, selenium, and zinc, as well as your NAD level. And you now no longer need to leave the Do Not Age website. So you can it's all in your account. You can see and track your NAD levels over time.
I'm glad to hear that. I took an NAD test and I sent it in, and my result came back, and I started to do a video. I did a video when I did the test, and then I was going to complete the video when I got the results. And when I got the results, I didn't feel like the results could have been accurate. I felt like it said my NAD levels were like that of a hyperactive 10-year-old. I mean, just like insane. So You know, and I feel great, but I don't want to believe that my numbers, they didn't even have it on the chart. Like it went up to 100 and
Well,
mine were 142.
now you've got the DoNotAge NAD test kit. Have
I've
you
got the new
taken
one.
that one yet?
No, I just
Um,
got it in the mail yesterday, and I'm going to
okay.
do the
Well, I
test.
look forward to seeing your video where you take it and with your
Yeah.
real results.
Yeah, I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say uh, the last test, like you said, some people weren't happy. Hopefully, I'll get good results, realistically good results again. Yeah. And
Yeah, I look forward
having
to
those
seeing
other
it.
markers, magnesium, zinc, and selenium are really important because I tell you, I guess I got off track here a little bit. Um, when you decide on your next, on what you're going to roll out next, uh, what leads the discussion? The current research and the science, or now hold on, the idea of can it be profitable, and then also are there going to be legal compliance issues in some countries?
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not
Yeah.
profitability. Um, but so we do the price last, and obviously there's a team responsible for making sure that that we can still run the organization and fund the research. But there are several SKUs that we lose money on. It's just part of it, I'm afraid. In terms of the science side of things, obviously we look at the most recent research. I personally lean heavily on the professors and scientists that I'm friends
Mhm.
with, and even the ones that work for us. So I have a sort of unfair advantage in that regard because I can just message them and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm thinking about it, and I'll give them my opinion, and they'll come back, and even if it's just a slight tweak or a bit of nuance, and they'll help, and that's where it usually starts, and then obviously then we'll get into testing, and then ultimately what it really comes down to is, does this work in humans? And if the answer is
Yeah.
yes, and big impact on human health, then we're
Now,
going to try our best.
are there ever, and this will lead me to the next thing, are there ever compliance issues, legal issues? Let's say like taurine. If you were to want to roll out taurine, are there countries that have outlawed
Wouldn't.
taurine? You know what I'm saying? So would that slow you down
No,
with choosing something?
no, I understand. We tend not to get compliance issues. Um, but as for taurine, it's certainly not something that we're looking at. There was a lot of hype about it, and again, it comes back to the media and clicks and all that kind of stuff because it was great because it was like basically Red Bull, makes you live forever, or any energy drinks will
Yeah.
make you live forever, and then make sure you don't get cancer and all these things. And obviously, that's first of all, it's definitely not true. So please, nobody believe
Mhm.
that. And secondly, it, it was one study. I mean, there's just so much wrong with it. It's unbelievable. But um, it just goes to show you how the media can spin things, and then you wonder why people have a negative view of like the supplement industry and anti-aging in general. I mean, even the word anti-aging,
Mhm.
it's been hijacked by skin cream companies and looking younger. I mean, who
Yeah.
cares? Well, a lot of people care, but they shouldn't, in my opinion. Like, if you actually reverse the age of your cells inside your body, you will eventually look younger as well. So that will be a byproduct of it. And so our products have that as a byproduct, but not as it. So I think we need to steal the word anti-aging back.
I
Either that or
agree.
stick to longevity. But yeah, taurine isn't on our list.
Oh, no, I wasn't hinting that it was, though. I mean, I would probably drink a Do Not Age energy drink if you sent one out here. Um, but you haven't had too many products or too many supplements or molecules or ideas that you're like, well, this is great, but it's banned in Asia. You know, maybe some of the products
Yeah,
like
I
some
mean,
ginkgo or
there's a few.
rhodiola or anything like that that could be seen as dangerous to some.
No, so we would never do anything that had like bad side effects. We think it's got to be a pure positive. If you're adding in a dietary supplement, it has to be all positive, and it has to move the needle a lot. Otherwise, it doesn't make the DoNotAge shelves. But yeah, we've had it with a few. Like we're looking at like rapamycin. It's still way too early. Still a lot of danger with it, but there's early indications that it may be very positive for human health. And so we're looking at that, helping some studies with that. But that's one that we'll never be able to provide because it's a
Okay.
pharmaceutical.
I was going to say it's only a pharmaceutical, and
Yeah,
it can't
that's right.
be, there's no way to turn it into a supplement.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Now, on the topic of compliance,
Mm.
the whole NMN issue came up last fall, and it's following the similar trajectory to glycine, or sorry, the N-acetylcysteine issue
Yeah,
with the
NAC.
US FDA.
Yep.
Amazon, iHerb, a few other websites pulled NMN from the site.
Mm. Mm.
It's not a safety concern. It's just
No.
protecting the interests of another company that I don't agree with the way things have happened. What
Yeah.
is DoNotAge's position on NMN? Just for my viewers.
Well, we're in discussions with FDA and some other parties, but the main thing from a consumer perspective is to not be worried. We will always ensure, I will personally guarantee that you do not lose access to the best NAD boosting supplements, whatever happens. So I'm absolutely not concerned about that. Going back to your question earlier about what's the biggest headache, this isn't a headache. Again, it was something that the media jumped on. We saw the traditional supplement companies going, "This is it. This is the end. You'll never be able to get it. Buy it right now." And it was the first week of November, and
Oh yeah.
we don't do sales, but even we had to have Black Friday, right? Because it's like a global thing. And so Black Friday sale at the end of November is coming up, and it was the first week of November, and all the supplement companies said, buy quick, and so a lot of people bought at the full price when they could have saved some money because of the hyperbole. And of course we didn't. We said, hey, there's nothing to panic about. If there was, we'd tell you. So yeah, that was a shame to see. No concern whatsoever. DoNotAge.org members will not have any disruption to their NAD boosters.
Excellent. Yeah. Have you considered doing a NMN TMG combo in a pill?
No, because most of our members take TMG in the evening. So they'll take the NMN first thing in the morning, TMG in the evening, because the glycine content can help with sleep a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to split it up actually. I take one TMG with my NMN, and then I take a TMG with an apigenin at night for sleep.
Yeah, that's very common as well. And you have to remember as well, like 500 milligrams of capsule, that capsule's already pretty full. So, if
Right.
we were to do that, we would just basically mean that people would have to take double the amount of capsules. So it would be a waste.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, okay, a little more about NMN. I've been using it since last December. I felt great effects right away. By like February, I forgot what it was like to not be able to sleep through the night, have amazing and frightening dreams from time to time. And I had a lot of other effects that I was attributing to NMN, because at the time I was really only taking like 2 or 3 things, and NMN was the main new thing,
Yeah.
What have
Good.
some of the DoNotAge members? What are some of the feedback you've gotten from DoNotAge customers about their experience with NMN, and what are some of the more like amazing ones that you think are just like really worth mentioning?
Yeah, so I'll start with the most common ones, and they tend to be faster recovery from exercise, ability to perform at their peak for longer in the gym and in sexual situations and in across the board, similar to Sirt6 Activator. And then some of the more specific ones we've had where people have not been able to walk, or people have had really, really foggy brains. And this is usually coming from like their daughter or their sister, or they'll email us and say, look, I bought this for my XX, whatever it is. And this is the power that it's had. And so for us, that's, it's very touching and very moving to be able to be part of that, for people to see those results straight away. And again, I think, especially when you're using it in combination with Sirt6 Activator. So NMN and Sirt6 Activator obviously go together very well. One's the fuel, accelerator pedal. I'm sure your audience are aware of this. The real difference that we're going to see is going to be in 10, 15 years time, for the people that have been taking it day in, day out, and the people that haven't. That's when you'll see the huge gaps in health, and how active and how switched on those people are compared to the people that have aged normally.
Excellent. I have one quick anecdote about that. I told you I have a friend staying at my apartment with me, and he is about 43, and we were going out for beer the other night, and I knew that I would be coming back after a couple of beers, probably before midnight, and I had a feeling he was going to be staying out late. So
Yeah.
I gave him some NMN. I just went through my supplements. I'm like, here, take some NMN, some TMG. I gave him some CAAKG. I gave him just a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I take this, and you won't feel like crap tomorrow. He goes, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And at the worst, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to flush it out because you're going to drink too much alcohol or whatever. He said the next morning he woke up, drank a glass of water. His head was clear as a bell. He said he was stunned. He was afraid that when he opened his eyes, he was going to have like a brain ripping hangover, and he had no problems at all.
Well, we don't.
So
The reason I didn't mention that is because we don't like to advertise it, because obviously drinking alcohol is not healthy. We now know,
absolutely not.
Even that BS media headline of 1 glass of red wine a day is good for you was a load of rubbish. Anything with alcohol in is not healthy. Like, it's pretty agreed now across the board, which is a good thing. But if you are going to partake, because we have to have fun in life too, then taking NMN, not just during, but after, it helps the hangover massively, a hell of a lot. And I still have the odd, blowout, as it were, celebration. And I also use Glynac as well. So our glycine and NAC product tends to help clear the head. But better alternative is to just drink water, and then you won't need it.
Right. Yeah. But, realistically, some of us, despite knowing better, we will still get in social situations and have a drink or two. But hangovers for me are a thing of the past. And not that I drink very much. I'll go out and have 2 beers one night a week with a couple of friends, just so I, remember what it's like to socialize with other people. Otherwise, I stay at home and I work a lot and go out for the odd walk and go grocery shopping, and just try to avoid the people who are a bad influence on me, meaning all my friends, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, that's good to hear about NMN as a hangover cure, but I'm not going to tell anybody. Let's talk about tests. You did an interview recently, and you mentioned other tests that aren't available on the website yet. So you've got the biological age test and the new NAD test that does magnesium, zinc, and selenium as well.
That's right.
What else is in the pipeline, or did something fall out of the pipeline?
No, so we did have to delay it because not everything goes smoothly.
Right.
But you mentioned earlier we have the omega-3 product now. We also have the vitamin D, vitamin K, magnesium, a blended product, which you need all those three together. The test kit we've developed, and again, all the results will be kept on your DoNotAge.org account so that it's nice and easy for you to do, is omega-3 and vitamin D levels. Very reasonable price, very easy to do from home. And we realized, we were focusing on all these biohacking, biological age, NAD level, super, super important. But also there was still, we became mass market, right? We became so big that we were getting unhealthy people coming to us. And so they didn't even have their omega-3 right. They didn't have their vitamin D right, the basic stuff. And so that's why we developed this. And also it's because some people say, well, do I need omega-3? I eat fish every day, for example.
Yeah.
Do I need omega-3? And now we can say, well, here's a test. You can find out, do you really need to supplement with it? Because if you eat oily fish for every meal of every day, there's a high chance you don't need an omega-3 supplement. But most people don't do that. And so now, launching this test will allow people to know whether they're taking the right amount, whether they need to supplement or not.
A quick thanks to channel partner DoNotAge.org, a health and longevity research company that sells the highest quality supplements. Click my link in the description or use discount code STARK for 10% off every purchase. Thanks for watching. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up and subscribed to this channel, please do that now.